Hi everyone, it's been a pretty hectic day for me. It is the day before Yom Kippur, so I had a lot of things to do, and it's only going to be a half day anyway. So I figured there's one video I could do that would be pretty short, and that's my review of Exonerated by Dan Bongino. And the reason it's short is because I think that if you read this book, you can probably get through it within a weekend. It is very, very compact. It is more clear than his previous book, Spygate. I thought Spygate was a little confusing, personally. And this generally deals with the goings on within the FBI and intelligence community investigations of the Trump campaign concerning collusion with Russia, as well as the Mueller report and the Mueller inquiry and all of that. And it's about, I think there's 7 or 8 chapters. Most of them are very, very breezy. There's a 3-phase process that he kind of goes through. It's a little funny the way he titles them. Dan Bongino, you wouldn't call him, I guess, a literary master. He's not exactly Joseph Conrad, but he definitely, I mean, for something like this, you need clarity. And that's why I think a more plain spoken account of it, it's not like it's dumb, but it is something that is very, very stripped down, devoid of a lot of the editorializing that you could see from other accounts. You know, I'm actually reading also uh, this other book by Molly Hemingway about the Kavanaugh process, and it's also a little similar, probably a little more wordy, where they're going through more the bare facts of what happened with Kavanaugh. This is the same idea. You don't necessarily get into trying to judge the situation by a lot of these metaphors the way that the left wing does. The left wing media. Okay, those that believe in the Russian collusion. Obviously, I'm not including people like Glenn Greenwald or Michael Tracy. But those that believe it will say a lot of times things like worse than Watergate. Like I believe Carl Bernstein has said that a lot. You have people who keep saying, "Oh, this is high treason" or whatever. When you're talking about a legal and procedural issue, when you use tons of hyperbole, that clouds the whole problem. So he has chapter 1, the plug and play plan, that goes through a previous version of the whole collusion plot that was used against the McCain campaign back in 2008. Then he goes through Conflicts Are Us, which I believe deals a little bit more with the team that Mueller ended up putting together. Then he had Plan A, Ad-libbing adversaries, which was going through some of the plots that were being used in order to ensnare some of these Trump campaign officials like Manafort. And then, you know, there's a few more parts. Plan B, the roadmap for trashing the Trump campaign, which goes through some of the other stuff. And then basically he goes all the way through the Mueller report and all of the other FBI shenanigans that went on under McCabe and Comey, as well as with Rod Rosenstein. It's very interesting the way he describes the Rod Rosenstein role, where he makes it seem as if Rosenstein was confirmed, and he thought that Trump may have put Rosenstein in a tough spot by having him draft a memo to fire Comey, and therefore Rosenstein felt that he had to appoint a special counsel because he's a career Department of Justice person as opposed to a Trumpist, right? So that I think you can kind of judge on its own merits. I personally think that Rosenstein does share some of the blame for what happened with the Russian collusion lie with respect to appointing Robert Mueller and all of that. And now, one other thing before I close, because this doesn't really take that long. The book is pretty short. One of the good things about this book was that it was published and released only about a month ago, but Bongino had written it, I believe he completed it in either March or April, and he already had a chapter in it that dealt with the whole Ukraine angle, with Burisma, with Biden. with some of the with what's his name, Shokin, the special prosecutor in Ukraine. So this is actually a pretty well up to date account if you're buying it right now, and it actually, you can see that Bongino himself, if if indeed this wasn't edited sometime in the past couple months, but he had a handle for exactly how conflicted the Biden team was going into this election. So that, I think, is really a good reason to buy this book. He does a lot of it in a very understandable manner, but he doesn't leave out things that could be important. So yeah, you can find it anywhere where fine books are sold. And please like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe to me on BitChute, Minds, and Subscribe Star if you want to donate. Those are all at Jeff Leopard, and you can subscribe to me on Gab at Starscream85.